Ever wondered how crucial it is to understand safe ice conditions when living off-grid? Well, you're about to find out. Imagine this. You're nestled in your cozy cabin, miles away from the nearest town, surrounded by a landscape blanketed in snow and ice. It's beautiful, but it's not just a pretty view. That ice is your lifeline. It's your source of water, your transportation route, maybe even your cold storage. But it can also be a dangerous foe if not handled with respect and knowledge. That's why understanding safe ice conditions isn't just a good idea, it's a survival necessity. In this video, we're going to uncover the strategies you need to ensure the ice you rely on is safe. We'll discuss how to know if the ice is thick enough, how to check its quality, why regular testing is vital, and how the weather impacts ice safety. Stay with us as we dive into the strategies for safe ice conditions when living off-grid. First up on our list is understanding the thickness of the ice. It's not just about donning your winter gear and stepping out onto that frozen expanse. No, my friends, it's about understanding the world beneath your feet, or in this case, the ice. You see, ice thickness is the unsung hero of our icy escapades. It's the silent guardian that stands between us and a very chilly swim, and knowing how thick that ice is, well, that's the first step to a safe winter adventure. But how do you measure ice thickness, you ask? Well, let me tell you. There are a few ways to do this. You can drill a hole into the ice with an auger or use an ice chisel. Just be sure to measure the thickness right after you've made the hole, and always do it in multiple places. Now, the question that's probably on your mind is, how thick is thick enough? It's a good question. For a single person on foot, a thickness of 4 inches of solid, clear ice is generally considered safe. For a group of people, you'll want at least 5 inches. Planning on taking that snowmobile for a spin? Look for a thickness of at least 5 inches. And for those of you dreaming of driving a small car or pickup on the ice, that ice better be 12 to 15 inches thick. But hold on, there's a twist in the tale. You see, not all ice is created equal. Freshwater ice is stronger than saltwater ice, so if you're venturing out onto a frozen lake or pond, that 4-inch guideline we talked about earlier, that should keep you safe. But if you're on saltwater ice, you'll need to be extra cautious. Saltwater ice can be deceptive, and you'll need more of it to support the same weight as freshwater ice. Remember, when in doubt, always err on the side of caution. Ice thickness isn't just a number, it's a lifeline, so be smart, be safe, and keep exploring. Next on our list is checking the quality of the ice. Now, you might be wondering, how can ice have quality? Isn't it just frozen water? Well, not all ice is created equal, and knowing the difference can be a crucial part of ensuring your safety. Let's start with the basics. Good ice, the kind you want to see, is blue. Why blue, you ask? It's because blue ice is strong and dense, formed by the slow, steady freezing of still water. It's the Superman of ice, if you will. It's tough, reliable, and can support a lot of weight. On the other hand, we have white ice, also known as snow ice. It's formed by wet snow freezing on top of existing ice. Picture it as the Clark Kent of ice. It might look harmless, but it's only half as strong as blue ice. That's right, it's a bit of a weakling in comparison. But how can you tell the difference? Blue ice tends to be clear and allows light to pass through, while white ice is opaque. Think of it as the difference between a crystal clear window and a frosted glass pane. Now let's talk about why this matters. The strength of ice, its ability to support weight, is directly influenced by its quality. Blue ice can typically support 1,000 pounds for every inch of thickness, while white ice, well, let's just say you're going to want to double the thickness to get the same support. So, when you're out there checking the ice, remember to look for that clear blue color. It's not just pretty, it's also a sign of strength and safety. And if you see white ice, be extra cautious. Remember, it's not quite as sturdy as its blue counterpart. And there you have it. When it comes to ice safety, it's not just about how thick the ice is. It's also about the quality of the ice. Because as we all know, quality matters. Whether it's in the food we eat, the company we keep, or the ice beneath our feet, quality can make all the difference. Quality over quantity, that's the rule when it comes to ice. Our third strategy is regular testing of ice conditions. Regular testing of ice conditions is not just a good practice. It's a lifeline when you're living off-grid or homesteading. It's like going to your doctor for a regular checkup. You might feel great, but it's always better to have an expert opinion, right? So don't just rely on visual inspections. Sure, they're a good starting point, but remember, ice can be deceptive. It can look thick and sturdy, but underneath it could be thin and fragile. So it's important to incorporate regular testing into your routine. Now you might be wondering, how do I test ice conditions? Well, there are several methods you can use. One simple and effective way is to drill into the ice. This will not only give you an idea of the ice thickness, but also its quality. And don't worry, you don't need a giant drill for this. A handheld ice auger will do just fine. Another method is to use an ice chisel. This tool allows you to chip away at the ice, giving you a clear view of the thickness and the quality of the ice. Remember though, safety first. Always use caution when using these tools. You can also consider using a cordless drill with a long, wide drill bit. This can give you an accurate measure of the ice thickness. But remember, never measure the ice thickness near the shore, as it tends to be thinner there. And here's a little secret. Ice conditions can change quickly, so it's crucial to test the ice conditions not just once but multiple times throughout the day. This will help you stay updated on the ice conditions and make informed decisions. In the end, it all boils down to this. Regular testing of ice conditions is like having a safety net. It can help you avoid potential dangers and ensure your safety. So always have the right tools in your kit and make testing a part of your routine. Testing, and more testing, your safety depends on it. The fourth strategy on our list is understanding how weather impacts ice safety. Now, ice isn't just a flat, solid surface that stays the same all the time. It's a dynamic, changing entity, and it's heavily influenced by the whims of the weather. Temperature fluctuations, for instance, have a significant impact on ice safety. A sudden drop in temperature can cause the ice to contract and crack, creating potential danger zones. On the other hand, a sudden rise in temperature can cause the ice to melt and weaken, which is equally hazardous. The key here is to be aware of these fluctuations and adjust your activity on the ice accordingly. Let's not forget about snowfall. A heavy snowfall can insulate the ice, slowing down the freezing process and potentially creating a layer of slush between the snow and the ice. This can be deceptive because it may look solid, but it's not as sturdy as it seems. So always be cautious when there's fresh snow on the ice. Wind, too, plays a pivotal role in ice safety. A strong wind can drive warm surface water to one side of a lake or pond, causing the ice to thin out on the other side. This is why you'll often find one side of a body of water frozen solid, while the other side is dangerously thin. It's all about understanding the wind's effect on the ice. Now you might be wondering, how can I adjust my safety measures based on changing weather conditions? Well, the answer lies in staying informed. Keep an eye on the weather forecast and adjust your plans accordingly. If there's a sudden temperature drop or a heavy snowfall predicted, it might be a good idea to postpone your ice activities until conditions are more favorable. Remember, the weather isn't just something that happens to us, it's a key player in the game of ice safety. So stay informed, stay cautious, and most importantly, stay safe out there on the ice. Remember, weather is a key player in the game of ice safety. And that brings us to the end of our listicle on strategies for safe ice conditions. We've explored 4 key strategies, each an important tool in your arsenal for staying safe and sound when navigating icy conditions off-grid. Firstly, we emphasize the importance of knowing the ice thickness. Remember, thick ice doesn't necessarily mean safe ice. Secondly, we dove into the nitty-gritty of checking ice quality. Not all ice is created equal, and being able to distinguish between good and bad ice is a game changer. Next, we talked about the value of regular testing of ice conditions. Consistent checks help us stay ahead of any potential hazards. Lastly, we underlined the influence of weather on ice safety. Knowing how the elements affect ice conditions can be the difference between a fun winter adventure and a dangerous situation. So there you have it, folks, 4 strategies to help ensure your safety on ice. Stay safe, stay informed, and enjoy the beauty of your off-grid lifestyle.